McHale, and welcome to our next edition of Minutes with McHale. I am thrilled to have one of the top rising associate ADs in the country from Florida International University, Heath Glick, join the show. Heath, thanks for coming on.
Dan, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have a lot of fun today, dive into a lot of topics, what's going on with the current NCAA landscape, and just kind of learn more about you and your journey. So, as we're just kicking this off, kind of tell me about your current role at FIU and kind of what your main responsibilities are.
So, Dan, I'm the Senior Associate Athletics Director, Chief Operating Officer. So as our Chief Operating Officer, I'm really involved in a little bit of everything. You kind of, in this role, need to be someone that brings people together and supports, the vision of your AD, your department, and your university. I directly get to oversee a lot of different areas in our department. Number one is our men's and women's basketball programs as their sport administrator. That's probably, I'll admit it, the best part of my job is working directly with our coaches and our athletes. It's a lot of fun daily. It's a lot of challenges daily, but I know that we're growing our programs in a great direction. I do have other administrative responsibilities, which are being the liaison to the president's office, the board of trustees, our board office, obviously, the general counsel's office. I get to work with all of our attorneys. I negotiate all of our department contracts, no matter what it is. I've pretty much negotiated anything, whether it's multimedia rights, insurance, employment agreements. I could name them off, our ITNs. So I'm definitely involved directly with that. I oversee facilities and our game operations and our game experience teams. So everything to do with our fans and making sure that they have a great time at our venues and events is something I'm very much involved in. Currently involved in our strategic plan. We're going to be rolling that out here shortly. So definitely looking forward to that. So a lot of different areas. I drive revenue. We rent our facilities to many different groups within the community and outside. We have people come from around the world to use our facilities, and that gives us a chance to have great events and experiences for the people in our community while driving revenue. So there's probably a lot there, and probably more that I've probably forgotten because every day is different. But I try to have a great time and definitely enjoy my role.
Oh, that's amazing. That really, really is. I know a lot of fun times coming in Miami at FIU. Well, you and I go way back working basketball camps 20 plus years ago. It's great to reconnect, but just kind of tell me about your journey. How did you get started in college athletics, and who kind of gave you your first job along the way?
Well, Dan, you mentioned it. I mean, it was basketball camps. I mean, while I was in college, I have a love for sport and grew up playing sports as a young kid. I remember being out in the street all the time, playing a different sport every day, and got to play sports in high school, and fortunately played in college. And while I was in college, I worked a number of different camps throughout the country. I mean, the first camp I worked actually is every time I go back to Atlanta and see 75 and 85, I remember being out on those hot blacktops right outside there at Georgia Tech, and Coach Kremen's basketball camp. I'm probably dating myself a little bit now, but definitely worked a lot of the camps. That's where my journey started. But my parents really stressed education with me, and when I had an opportunity to go to graduate school, I went to law school. And throughout law school, I was working with the basketball team at the same time. My friends thought I was crazy at the time, but I wasn't, because I had a love for sport as well. And then after law school, I passed the bar, and Coach Sergio Rocco here at FIU, the first time I was here, he hired me as his director of basketball operations, kind of in like a temporary position that I was working full time, and thankful to him and grateful for that opportunity. And that's kind of where my journey began as a first full-time job, working at Florida State with Coach Hamilton, which was a privilege to be able to watch him every day, and then came back to FIU as an assistant coach, and then transitioned into the administration. And that's where kind of my administrative responsibilities and roles grew over time to where I am today. I've done a number of different things. I've overseen a number of different departments throughout the years, and learned a lot, and grateful to all the people that helped me along the way.
No, Heath, that's an amazing journey. From working basketball camps to becoming a full-time assistant to now being the COO and associate dean of a major university is a incredible journey. And I know you're just getting started. Kind of looking back, college athletics has been so rewarding to me and you as well, and so many people. It's all about giving back. What advice would you give to a young 20-something-year-old that's just getting out of college that wants to get into college athletics?
Well, the first thing I would say is make sure you love it. And you may not know exactly what you love right away. And the only, real way that you find out you love it is being present, being involved, doing different things. I mean, we talked about, me starting with the basketball camps, but, if you're a young person out of university right now, go to your athletics department. Go meet somebody and see, hey, how can I get involved? What can I do? What can I volunteer? What can I help with? Because, collegiate athletics it's a team, and, no matter what part or role you play on that team, it's critical to the success of the organization. And, when you're getting started, you've got a lot to learn. I mean, we've all done different roles and responsibilities, and, volunteering your time, being there, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like, seeing what you don't even know yet. Maybe you don't know anything about sales. Maybe you don't know anything about marketing. Go shadow somebody that's in there. See if you can spend a day with them, spend a week. I mean, there's being there and seeing things and doing it yourself is probably the best way to learn. And then ultimately, this is about people, and you're going to meet good people in collegiate athletics. Nobody just does it themselves. Everybody has had help along the way. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there and go meet as many people as you can. And somebody's going to like you, and somebody's going to give you an opportunity, and then you got to take it from there.
Yeah, no doubt. It's all about the people holding me along the way. And I was very fortunate to rise up the coaching ranks. And it was because of, my work ethic and how hard, disciplined I was, but it's about the people you meet and the impressions that you make. So, you touched upon everyone from Sergio Rocco to Leonard Hamilton. It's just an amazing journey. And you're right. It's just giving back and the people that impact your lives on a daily basis. Kind of segueing into my next topic. I mean, it's changing. It's a lot different than when you and I first broke into it 20-something years ago. The demands of the student athletes are different. We didn't have the Twitters and the social media that can be good and bad for student athletes and administrators. Fans have more access, which again comes with more responsibility to the student athletes and administrators. So kind of a two-part question from a student athlete standpoint and an administrator standpoint. What do you think the biggest challenges that they're facing these days?
Well, I definitely think that, finding the right medium of communication to be able to work together to solve, problems. I mean, everyone, whether you're a student athlete, whether you're an administrator, whether you're a coach, whether you're in, not even in collegiate athletics, it's all about, finding how can you resolve differences and find common ground. And it's tough because there's student athletes have a lot of pressure on them, right? We all do now with technology. Everybody wants an immediate response to everything, and sometimes a bad moment isn't necessarily indicative of a bad experience, right? We all have bad moments throughout the day, and trying to understand, is this something that was a bad moment today, or is this something that's more of a pattern? Is difficult sometimes when your mediums of communication are different. And I always love to like we're talking here, let's talk and let's figure out how can we find a resolution to whatever issues you may have, to move your team forward, to move your department forward, your university forward. So that is a huge challenge. And then I'd also say the resources. If you ask the administrator, how are you going to allocate the resources you currently have? How are you going to grow them? And then how are you going to best use them to get the best return on investment. And sometimes those are tough decisions, and
Right.
not everybody's going to be happy.
No, absolutely. It's different, right? And it's really where, you want the best for the student athletes, and obviously as administrator, you want to be able to move the department ahead. But the challenges that each are facing are ongoing. And it kind of leads me to my next topic. And if you look at how NIL has changed the landscape, you look at the other school, major university in Miami this past year was really all in on it, right? And it reaped rewards in the men's and basketball side. How are you guys dealing with NIL and kind of the ever-changing collegiate athletics world?
Well, this has been it's been a tough topic for anybody. But I will say, as a whole, it's been really good for athletes. I mean, we are institutions of higher learning, and
Right.
what better opportunity for them to understand how to, in real life, grow your brand, right? Grow a business, understand, having to pay taxes and how to manage money. I mean, these are all things that, help develop you to be an adult. So from that standpoint, it's been great. From the other standpoint is obviously there's no institution that wants to be losing your athletes to NIL, but you also don't want them coming to your institution just for NIL.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a tough balance. And I think there's some, really smart people and good people that are trying to work on these issues. I mean, it's not if there was a quick, easy, one size fits all, then it would have been done already. But I think the biggest thing with NIL is just to have a set of rules that everybody can play by. And when, I'll give you a basketball analogy. If you play the first half of a basketball game, one way, and then you come out in the second half and say, well, instead of a 3-pointer, there's going to be a 4-pointer. You say, wait a minute, what's this? So I think to have some consistency with all these different states having laws, the NCAA trying to get a handle on this, I think it will be solved. And I think the best way to do it is allow athletes to have opportunities to build their brands, but also having, rules in place that don't necessarily have to fit all hundreds of institutions, because different institutions have different, missions. I mean, you can have different rules by sport. There's different ways to do this because it's impossible to make every single person happy.
Right.
But you want to have consistency in what those rules are so that, we can all play by them and follow them.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And look, it's changing daily. And we just have to all stay on top of it and work together and hopefully find a common ground. So, well, before I let you go, Heath, I really appreciate you coming on. Just give me just a quick 2 minutes about what's going on at FIU with your spring sports and all the great stuff you guys got going on.
Well, we just had our tennis team just won the Conference USA Championship. So congratulations to them. And we're awaiting the selection show. We got our beach volleyball team is getting ready for their conference championships next week. And our baseball team just beat 2 top 25 teams this last week. So they're getting rolling as they're getting into the end of their season. And softball is heading to championships here soon. So we're excited. Wow. Scott's done a lot to build our brand, and we're excited to be rolling out our strategic plan here in the next couple of weeks that the world can see.
Well, that's fantastic, Heath. Well, a lot of exciting times going on at South Beach. I really appreciate you coming on again. One of the top rising associate ADs in the country, Heath Glick. I am Dan McHale from SRI Executive Collegiate Search, and we will see you next time on Minutes with McHale.